Hi, my sweet, sweet friends. I miss you guys. I hope y'all are doing well. We have a new book today, this week, that we're going to be talking about. And the title of this book is A House for Hermit Crab. Do you remember that the title tells us what the book is going to be about? And remember, if we don't know how to read yet, what can you read? So if you could read me the title, just look at the picture and tell me what you think the book is going to be about. Read the picture. So the title is A House for Hermit Crab, and this book has a special author and illustrator. In this book, the author and the illustrator are the same person. So what does that mean? Do you remember? Do you remember what the author's job is? What's the author's job? The author's job is to write the words in the book. And then what's the illustrator's job? If the author writes the words, what does the illustrator do? That's right. The illustrator draws the pictures and paints or colors the pictures. So in this book, the author and the illustrator is Eric Carle. Can you say Eric Carle? That's right. Eric Carle is the author, so he writes the words, and he's the illustrator, so he draws all of these pictures. All right, so turn on your listening ears, turn on your looking eyes, and turn on your thinking brain and be ready to listen. A House for Hermit Crab, written and illustrated by Eric Carle. Time to move, said Hermit Crab one day in January. I've grown too big for this little shell. I just spotted a power word. See if you can see it. Little. He had felt safe and snug in his shell, but now it was too snug. Hermit Crab stepped out of the shell and onto the floor of the ocean. But it was frightening out in the open. See, without a shell to hide in. What if a big fish comes along and attacks me? He thought. I must find a new house soon. Early in February, Hermit Crab found just the house he was looking for. It was a big shell and strong. He moved right in, wiggling and waggling about inside to see how it felt. It felt just right. But it looked so plain, thought Hermit Crab. In March, Hermit Crab met some sea anemones. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. How beautiful you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and live on my house? It is so plain, it needs you. I'll come, whispered a small sea anemone. Gently, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. Do you think that the sea anemone is going to make his shell beautiful? Let's see. So we went through January, February, March. What month do you think we're in now? April. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly along the seafloor. How handsome you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to decorate my house? I would, signaled a little sea star. Carefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his house. So now he has a sea anemone and a starfish. Let's keep track of how many things he puts on his shell. So far he has a sea anemone and a starfish. How many do you think he's going to have all together on his shell? Let's see. So we had January, February, March, April. What's next? In May, Hermit Crab discovered some coral. They were hard and didn't move. How pretty you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to help make my house more beautiful? I would, creaked a crusty coral. Gingerly, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. So now he has the sea anemone, he has the starfish, and the coral. So that's 3 things that he has. How many more is he going to have? January, February, March, April, May, June. In June, Hermit Crab came to a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and pieces of debris and leaving a neat path behind them. How tidy and hard-working you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and help clean my house? I would, offered one of the snails. Happily, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. So now he has the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, and the snails. That's 4 so far. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. In July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. How fierce you look, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to protect my house? I would, answered a spiky sea urchin. Gratefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it near his shell. So now, the Hermit Crab has the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the snail, and the sea urchin. How many does he have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many more do you think he's going to be able to fit? We were in July. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into the forest of seaweed. Wandered. Do you remember that word from Where is Home, Little Pip? What does wandered mean? That's right. Wandered means to go off into somewhere where you're not familiar. So the friends wandered off into a forest of seaweed. It looks so dark in here, thought Hermit Crab. How dim it is, murmured the sea anemone. How gloomy it is, whispered the starfish. How murky it is, complained the coral. I can't see, said the snail. It's like nighttime, cried the sea urchin. What do you think's about to happen? After August is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. In September, Hermit Crab spotted a school of lanternfish darting through the dark water. How bright you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to light up our house?" "I would," replied one lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. In October, Hermit Crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. "How sturdy you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you mind if I rearranged you?" "Not at all," answered the pebbles. Hermit Crab picked them up one by one with his claw and built a wall around his shell. "Now my house is perfect," cheered Hermit Crab. So Hermit Crab has the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the snail, the sea urchin, the lanternfish, and the pebbles. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. But in November, Hermit Crab felt that his shell seemed a bit too small. Little by little, over the year, Hermit Crab had grown. Soon he would have to find another, bigger home, but he had come to love his friends, the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and even the smooth pebbles. "They have been so good to me," thought Hermit Crab. "They are like a family. How can I ever leave them?" January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. In December, a smaller hermit crab passed by. I have outgrown my shell," she said. "Would you know of a place for me?" "I have outgrown my house too," answered Hermit Crab. "I must move on. You are welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to my friends." "I promise," said the little crab. He is being so kind and giving to be able to give up his home that he loves so much with his friends that are like family to a stranger. Isn't that kind of him? I think so. So the following January, Hermit Crab stepped out and the little crab moved in. "Couldn't stay in that little shell forever," said Hermit Crab as he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he had remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid. Soon he spied the perfect house, a big empty shell. It looked, well, a little plain, but sponges, he thought, barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, there are so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. The end. All right, I want you to go talk about that story with somebody, maybe with a mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, an aunt or an uncle. I want you to go talk about the story that we just read, okay? Miss LaRocca has some questions for you that are laid out, and I want you guys to have some conversations and talk back and forth about what we just read and about the hermit crab and the home that the hermit crab had, and talk about all of the things that the hermit crab decorated his shell with to make it beautiful. All right, I hope you enjoyed that story. I will talk to you soon. Bye, my friends.